Live at Onigashima! I'm Anthony.
I'm Jimmy, and today we have chapter 1108, Attention World. Boy, did it end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
but
this is a big cliffhanger.
before getting to that, we pick up right where we left off. Van Augur pointing his gun at Caribou. Caribou pleading for his life.
Oh my god.
Hoping to get onto the crew. And it's exactly what we all thought. Like, he's just like, hey, I got ancient weapon information. Teach would love to know this. I do like that he's being smart about it, not just revealing it, because then Van Augur could just be like, okay, and then kills him right there.
Yeah. So that's, I was kind of like going back and forth with whether he was saying this in his head or not, but I'm sure this is just like, you know, he's saying all that just for the reader to know, like, like, I have the ancient weapon knowledge, blah blah blah. We all knew it, but like, it's good to get the refresher. So, but we cut away from that.
I mean, the fact that he realizes, I like that he realizes, like, hey, only me and the Straw Hats know, so this is like we knew it was valuable, he knew it was valuable, but I like that he's actually cunning enough to be like, hey, I have a plan with this, not just like, here's information that I have. So, Caribou we know is gonna come up later.
Yeah, but he's gonna come. He's gonna become like the Bartolomeo of the Blackbeard pirates. Like, that's gonna be like the version.
I love that. But something cool that we get to see the pacifistas do in this chapter are those bubble shields. Like, it was kind of implied that they would have all the different technology that Vegapunk has created, but to actually get to see it in action and see that it doesn't just block devil fruit powers, it kind of blocks everything, is what it looks like.
I know, it's crazy. It's like, when I saw that, I was like, damn, that means they're like even stronger than what we thought, you know. We see it block like a giant cannon blast, essentially, effortlessly, yeah. And so, like, keep in mind, this is one of what, 100 of these that Bonnie has, and the government is saying here, like, we really don't want to destroy these things. Like, we need these things because we just disbanded the Shishibukai, and like all we got are like the Seraphim and the Pacifista at this point. Like, we've been talking about for a while that the government doesn't really have, you know, the power to stand up to all these pirates. It's too much.
I also like that their plan here is not, we need to kill the pacifistas because, like you said, they need the firepower. It's, we need to kill Bonnie. Like, they need to actually go after Bonnie and kill her. And I think that's going to be the hard part, is trying to catch her while she's protected by, as we can see now, not only the Straw Hats, but the giant pirates have met up with the Straw Hats now and are like, hey, don't recognize you, but we're here to protect you.
Right.
That moment was really fun. I like that they're like, hey, we looked at the posters, but you don't look like the posters because Frankie looks like the Thousand Sunny instead.
It's so good, dude. I love that Frankie gets to meet them. It's like, because who else does he have to meet? They have to meet Brooke, and they gotta meet
basically everybody
Robin,
except the original 5. They never even met Chopper, because Chopper joined after they went there. Brooke, Jinbei, which maybe they know Jinbei because, you know, he's kind of famous. Same with Robin, but they've never met him in person. Yeah,
but Frankie, it makes sense that this reaction that we got out of Frankie. I thought at first when I saw, so we see all the vice admirals pop up again, like the 5 that, you know, the Buster Call naturally brings 5 vice admirals with it, and so we see them. They're like, okay, we're gonna go back on the island after they were told like by Kizaru and Saturn, like, get off. They're like, no, we're gonna go back in.
So originally, before they got smacked by the giants, I thought maybe it's like, hey, if they come back to the island, they're gonna see all this stuff that Saturn didn't want them to see, like his true form, which I imagine is what we're seeing now. So I wonder if that's part of like information getting leaked to people in the government. Like, maybe some of them start seeing this and are like, yo, what the fuck is that? Like,
well, I feel
can
like
we really trust people like that?
I feel like we probably won't get the vice admirals seeing Saturn in this form, because with the whole Katarina Devon stuff last chapter, it's like, you know, I think one of the big reasons why Oda had everybody else except for Kizaru and Saturn leave the island is so that, you know, whatever Katarina Devon is doing, like, they don't know, you know, whatever, like, the fate of Saturn is kind of like unbeknownst to anybody except for like who's here, and so it'll be easy later for Katarina Devon to like impersonate Saturn, because, you know, none of the vice admirals, nobody else in the government like really saw what happened, so it's not going to be something that like travels up the chain of command information wise. But
my only thing with that is Kizaru would then also need to not see what happens to Saturn, which, I mean, could happen. That's just one person that they have to distract while things are happening. But also Katarina Devon said, hey, we're leaving the island. And I think if something happens to Saturn, even if she's trying to sneak around as him, like, to trick everybody, would have to leave the island as Saturn, not necessarily just show up somewhere else as him. So
no, that's not
I guess
true,
we'll
because no, because like if Saturn perishes here and Kizaru isn't, like, for some reason, if Kizaru, well, we don't know what's gonna happen with Kizaru yet, but if he is not able to relay that information, there's nobody else to do that if Saturn like dies here, for example. So like, for all intents and purposes, you know, they could just be like, oh, Saturn got off the island, like he's a Gorosei, like of course he did, or like Kizaru got him off the island.
I feel like they'd have to basically kill Kizaru for that to not,
right,
like, for that to happen.
We'll see. I really do like I thought when Vice Admiral Tosa like got that big name
I was
flag,
a little worried for Frankie for a second.
well, I was like, damn, okay, so this is like the big burly dude that like Frankie gets to be his fight. Like, kind of sucks. Like, he just, I mean, you know, he gets to fight a Vice Admiral, whatever, cool, but then he gets whacked like right afterwards.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was gonna be cool to see him fight a Vice Admiral, show Frankie has some power, but nope, giant axe. Not even the sharp part of the axe. He just gets flattened by
that was so funny, dude. Yeah, it's okay, because like, you know, Frankie already radical beamed the Gorosei, which,
but I think this just exemplifies the power of the Giants too, to take out a Vice Admiral so effortlessly. It's literally like they're not even trying. They're just like, oh, whoops, accidentally stepped on him, like he's a bug.
Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up before we move on to the next part of the chapter, which is like, you know, the heavier part of the chapter. The Vice Admirals talk about Saul a little bit. So we find out that Doll was she was a part of oh no,
he was working under Saul.
Yeah.
So
I
mean, that's cool. I just don't know what it's gonna lead into, because we've seen other people working with Saul. Like, we saw it with Aokiji, so maybe that means there's some connection between Doll and Aokiji also. But I just don't know where it's gonna go. I think it was just like a cool Easter egg that they kind of threw in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Going to the next part of the chapter, like you said, the heavy bit. Two main things happening here. One, Vegapunk still dying, and then two, Saturn coming out looking like a freak.
Looking like a freak. And he doesn't even say anything for the rest of the chapter either. So it makes me think that this is like some elevated form where he's just like totally mindless, right? And he's just attacking.
It reminds me of the Beast Jailers at Impel Down, where once they got into their awakenings, they were just mindless animals.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe he just like let his awakening take over him, because I'd imagine even if he was awakened, he can control it. But I wonder if you like let go and let the fruit take over, it becomes stronger in some sense.
Right.
And that's like what he's doing here. He's basically letting the will of the devil fruit take over and try to kill everybody.
This could also be his like I mean, he kind of looks the same other than the eyes, but I was gonna my mind also kind of went to like hybrid form. If or like, you know, whatever other form of zone this is.
See, I was assuming he was hybrid before,
right?
Which is why I think this is hybrid plus, if that's even a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe hybrid plus. We see he, you know, he's got this the venom coated spikes his nails, and we see Luffy. Dude, I saw people being like, "Oh my god!" Like when the spoilers came out, they were like, "Oh my god, Luffy can do shadow clones," but no, that's not what it is.
This is why spoilers are stupid.
Yeah. But he's just doing like
around the screen.
Yeah, he's just like dodging. You know, like it's just a cool like thing that Oda did to show like his movements in one panel.
I wonder how strong this poison is. Also, like I wonder if Luffy gets nicked, does it even affect him with how resilient to poison he is at this point? Like, I feel like he's been hit by so many different poisonous attacks that he just has this like natural immunity at this point, where even if he gets hit, I don't really think it's going to do much to him. But it is doing something to Vegapunk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, besides just bleeding out, like he said, he's also now getting poisoned, is what we find out.
Poor Vegapunk, man. He's like, leave me to die, and they're like, no, and he's like, oh.
He's like, but I'm in pain, and Luffy's like, I don't give a fuck, take him.
Yeah, I would say that probably Sanji wouldn't get hurt by the venom either. Well, we don't know. He's a cyborg, but he does get hurt. Well, no, he doesn't really get hurt. He kind of tanks. People are going back and forth on this Sanji feat stuff. This is like, it's crazy because like what happens at the end of the chapter is like totally like world breaking, but like people are still talking about Sanji versus Zoro.
Yeah, I mean the Sanji fans are coming out, the Sanji haters are coming out, they're all coming out. But I think like, I mean, Sanji tanked the attack. Like he took a hit and he went down and dropped Vegapunk, but he still got up and he's fine afterwards. It's not like he really went down or even like says he's like hurt from it or anything.
Yeah, he took a hit.
One of the things here, the one who didn't take a hit from Kizaru very well was Vegapunk. He got shot again through the same hole, which this actually reminds me of what we were talking about back with Kuzan and Garp, where he very well could have shot through the hole on purpose to make it look like he was killing
cauterize
him.
the wound, yeah.
Exactly, and cauterize it. And maybe he's like, while making it look like he's attacking him, is actually helping him and saving him, like how Kiji was plugging up the hole with Garp. Maybe that's just me kind of on that Kizaru unclear justice hype train still, but that's at least
I think maybe, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, he tried to kill Bonnie like a bunch of times, but
yeah,
you know, maybe he was just doing that for show. Maybe he's, because like, it's still hard for me to believe that Kizaru's not the fastest guy, even though like Luffy and Sanji have been like blitzing him a lot at this point. But you know, I also feel like if that was really going to be like the nail in the coffin for Vegapunk, that was a cool panel, but it was really small compared to like, you know, what I thought it would be if like that was going to be like Vegapunk's death. You know what I mean?
Well, Vegapunk's not going out without a fight because, I mean, not a literal fight, but he's about to drop some bombs on us. Yes. The truth about the world. Holy moly, I've been waiting for this for so long. Ever since Ohara, like, yeah, I think this is where we get the name of the ancient kingdom finally.
Oh, you think that's what it's going to be?
Well, I think because if Vegapunk was studying something, theoretically, it could be something that was already studied before, like all the knowledge on Ohara, and they did know about that. I don't necessarily think we're getting like Void Century flashbacks because we probably aren't going to know everything there until we get to Laugh Tale.
Yeah.
But everything that the scholars knew, Vegapunk should know and more.
Yeah, and I feel like we saved that for Robin to tell us, right? Like, I feel like that's not Vegapunk's thing to tell us. But
I don't know if Robin knew though, because I feel like it would.
No. I mean, once we get to Laugh Tale, like to give us that information, like you're saying, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think we're gonna get a Void Century flashback until all the pieces are together and Robin's like reading all the, you know, stuff that they find at Laugh Tale or whatever.
Maybe we got a little tease here like they did with God Valley. They're like, here, we'll show you a little snippet, but we're gonna save the rest of it for later.
This has got to be what makes this like an incident, you know what I mean? Because like this is gonna shake up the world.
I was saying before, I was like, yeah, Saturn showing up makes an incident. No, I was wrong. This is what makes it an incident.
Yeah, because then because they said before, like, oh, the world, like, you know, it was never the same after this. Like the whole world is gonna know something, and so like it could be as simple as like, you know, hey, world government bad, just so you all know. But you know, I feel like it's gonna be, we're gonna get a little bit more information. Now, one thing that my head went to for sure is like, because Oda said this a long time ago, is that when we meet Dr. Vegapunk, we're gonna learn a lot about devil fruits. So I feel like it's gonna tie into like where the devil fruits came from, or like how they were first made, or like maybe the government's use of devil fruits and like how they're spread throughout the world, or like something like maybe he's going to expose the world government in a different way than what we're thinking, because we as the reader already know that the world government is like bad and that all this shit is happening. So like this has to be more than just that. It has to be more information for us. So,
well, I think we know the world government's bad, but the greater like One Piece world doesn't.
Right. But I think they're gonna use I think they're gonna use like some new piece of information to tell the world that the government is bad, not what we've already known, or in addition to what we already know. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be like part of it. So.
And that's why I think it's related to the Ancient Kingdom, because that's something no one really knows about, but would shake the world. And it's like, why did the government wipe this place out?
Right.
But just to end the chapter and cut back to it a little bit, the power scaling of Luffy just grabbing.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Luffy. We gotta talk about Luffy.
Same time,
dude. This guy, like emperor level for sure. This is an emperor. This is what I expect an emperor to be doing.
Like people were exaggerating so much, like, haha, Luffy has this goofy form, but like you can see he can get serious in this form. And I never really had I just think we hadn't gotten to that point where he needed to get super serious yet. And I think people were complaining just way too early.
Yeah.
Like you see him when he's grabbing them. He's pretty pissed right now. He's like, you're not getting away from me.
Yeah. So. He was like, call an ambulance, but not for me. Kizaru, I don't know if Kizaru is like just got caught there. Like I can't tell what his demeanor is there. If he's like, oh damn, like white eyes, like I got caught by Luffy, like I'm done. Or if he's just like, here we go again, and like ready to actually fight.
Got caught by the same thing twice.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. You know, I thought last chapter that we were gonna get like a 2v2 scenario, but it's looking like a 2v1 scenario.
That's gonna be big for Luffy when he comes out of this.
Man,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, like if people were doubting before, Like, come on, man. Like, he's fighting a Gorosei and an Admiral, like, straight up. So I'm excited to see.
I'm curious of what do you think's gonna happen next chapter, because I think, like we said, we're gonna get this information that Vegapunk's gonna say, but I don't think that's gonna be the full chapter either. I think we're gonna see something with this Luffy Kizaru thing.
So I think here's my thing with Kizaru is that like we already got a chapter that was titled Luffy versus Kizaru, and I don't know that we really need more of that. Like I feel like a good 1v1 Luffy versus Saturn could be like his final boss, and Kizaru can go off to keep chasing Bonnie and them and have more character moments, you know what I mean? Like I don't think we're done with Kizaru's character, so I feel
I wonder if Kizaru runs off and they run into Lucci and Zoro, because we didn't see them at all this chapter, and it looked like they should be getting towards the end of their battle.
Yeah, I hope so. Damn, it's been like so long that they've been fighting and clashing.
It's been like 20-something chapters.
Yeah, the slander is just like flying. So like, I don't. We need something to happen with that. At least give us like some like more than just a clash. Like give us like a couple panels of them like doing a move.
At least let Zoro use 3 swords.
Yeah, let Zoro use 3 swords.
But you know what the best part about this chapter is?
Say it.
No break next week.
No break next week.
We get to find this out immediately, and thank God, because I need this information now. I'm itching to find out what happens and the truth about the world.
Same. And I'm glad that we're all of the important players are here to hear it. Like I need Robin to be listening on the loudspeaker once she's in bed, like recovering or whatever. Like, oh, and you know what's interesting about this too? Well, I mean, I guess this is broadcast to the whole world, but it's like, who realistically is going to hear it first, or is it just like the whole world is going to hear it at the same time? Because like, are the Blackbeard pirates going to like leave, and then like the Straw Hats are going to be the first ones to hear it, and then they're going to broadcast, or like, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that's the end of the chapter. Thanks for joining us. Go check out our other videos. We have some good ones out right now. We got Law versus Zoro. We got talk last chapter of Sanji being over Zoro. So there's a lot of hype in the community right now. Go fight us in the comments somewhere. Go check.
You
Go
guys
check
have
out
been
the channel.
doing good at that. Fighting us in the comments.
We love it. It's really fun to watch, honestly.
So yeah, peace out, guys.
Peace.